Queen Dani of the Zephro Empire had always prided herself on her ability to read people. As ruler of 7 star systems, she'd negotiated with countless species, navigated political intrigue, and commanded fleets that could darken suns. Yet somehow, the quiet human sitting beside her at the diplomatic summit had slipped past every one of her carefully honed instincts. Jasper was, by all accounts, unremarkable. He wore simple clothes, a far cry from the elaborate garments of other delegates. He spoke softly, choosing his words with care. When other representatives boasted of their world's accomplishments, Jasper merely smiled and sipped his tea. Dani found it refreshing. In a galaxy of peacocks, here was a dove. Their courtship had been brief but genuine. Jasper had made her laugh with his dry wit and self-deprecating humor. He'd called himself just a civil engineer from Earth, and told stories of building bridges and water systems on colony worlds. Nothing glamorous, he'd insisted, just honest work. When Dani proposed a political marriage to cement the alliance between their peoples, Jasper had accepted with the same quiet humility. "I'm honored," he'd said, "though I'm not sure what a queen sees in a bridge builder." "Honesty," Dani had replied, touching his face with her slender, azure-skinned hand. "In a universe of liars, you're a rarity." The wedding had been modest by royal standards, Jasper's request. The first 3 months of marriage had been blissful. Jasper seemed content to let Dani rule while he tinkered with infrastructure projects across her empire. He was, she thought, exactly what he claimed to be, a good, simple man who'd stumbled into extraordinary circumstances. Then came the Krell invasion. The Krell were a warrior species, brutal, efficient, and utterly without mercy. They'd been expanding aggressively through the outer systems, and now they'd set their sights on Zephro's prime itself. Dani's fleet engaged them at the system's edge, but the battle went poorly from the start. The Krell ships were faster, their weapons more devastating than intelligence had suggested. Within 6 hours, half of Dani's fleet was debris. She stood in the command center of the royal palace, watching the tactical display with growing horror. Her admirals were shouting, arguing about retreat protocols and evacuation plans. The Krell would reach the planet in less than 4 hours. "We need to evacuate the royal family," Admiral Koth insisted. "Your Majesty, the battle is lost." "No," Dani's voice was ice. "We stand, we fight. I will not abandon my people, then we all die. If that's what honor demands, that won't be necessary." Everyone turned. Jasper stood in the doorway, still wearing his casual work clothes. But something about him had changed. His posture was different, straighter, coiled like a spring. His eyes, usually warm and gentle, had gone cold and calculating. Dani's confusion was evident. "What are you?" "I need full access to the defense grid," Jasper said, his voice carrying an authority she'd never heard before. "All planetary defense systems, satellite weapons, and any remaining fleet assets." "Now," Admiral Koth bristled, "who do you think you are too? I'm the one who's going to save your planet." Jasper's gaze snapped to the Admiral. "My credentials are in Earth's military database. Access code Sierra. Check them. You have 30 seconds before I override your systems manually." The silence was deafening. Koth's fingers flew over his console, his face going from angry to shocked to pale in rapid succession. "By the void," the Admiral whispered, You're the Jasper. The Jasper from the Andromedan conflict." "What's happening?" Dani demanded. "Someone explain." Koth looked at her, his expression one of disbelief and hope. "Your Majesty, your husband is. He's not a civil engineer. I mean, he is, but that's not. He's General Jasper Chen, humanity's foremost military strategist. They say he's never lost a battle. He turned the tide at Andromeda, held the siege of New Terra for 18 months with a force 1/10 the size of later." Jasper cut in. He'd already taken position at the main console. His fingers moved with blinding speed across the holographic interface. "Dani, I need your authorization code." Still stunned, Dani provided it. What happened next would become legend. Jasper's hands danced across the controls, pulling up system after system. Within minutes, he'd reorganized the entire defensive grid into a pattern no one recognized. He rerouted power from non-essential systems, repositioned satellites, and sent rapid-fire commands to the scattered fleet. "All remaining ships, fall back to Mark 77.3, he ordered. "Titan formation." "Yes, I know it looks like a trap, that's because it is. Execute now." The Krell saw the weakened formation and accelerated, eager for the kill. Jasper waited, watching the tactical display with eyes that saw patterns others couldn't. His hand hovered over a console, absolutely still. "Now," he whispered. The space around the Krell fleet erupted. Jasper had turned the defensive satellites into a coordinated weapon system, creating overlapping fields of fire the Krell couldn't escape. At the same moment, the retreating Zephyrosian ships executed a perfect pincer movement, their weapons synchronized to Jasper's firing solution. The Krell flagship exploded first, then another, then 3 more. Jasper's strategy was beautiful in its brutality. He'd used the Krell's aggression against them, channeling them into a killing field where their superior speed and weapons meant nothing. Within 20 minutes, the invasion force was shattered. The surviving Krell ships fled into hyperspace. The command center was silent, except for the soft beeping of consoles. Jasper stepped back from the controls, his shoulders sagging slightly. When he turned to face Danny, he looked tired and uncertain. "I'm sorry I didn't tell you," he said quietly. "I wanted to leave that life behind. I wanted to just be normal, to build things instead of destroying them. I thought if you knew who I really was, you'd only see the soldier, not the man." Danny crossed the distance between them in 3 strides. Her hand found his face again, just as it had when she'd proposed. "You saved my people," she said softly, "but that's not why I love you. I love you because you wanted to build bridges, not because you knew how to burn them." Jasper's eyes widened. You still..." "I married a man who chose peace over glory," Danny said. "The fact that he's capable of terrible things when necessary, that just means I'm very, very lucky he's on my side." For the first time since the battle began, Jasper smiled, that same gentle smile she'd fallen in love with. "Just a bridge builder," he said. "The best bridge builder in the galaxy," Danny replied, "who happens to be pretty good in a fight." Behind them, Admiral Koth cleared his throat. "General Chan, sir, we would be honored if you'd consider advising our military." "No," Jasper said firmly. "I'm retired, but I'll help with reconstruction. Lots of bridges to build after a battle like that." He took Danny's hand. "Besides, I have a wife who's far more interesting than any war room." Queen Danny of the Zephyrosian Empire smiled, and for once, her legendary ability to read people had failed her spectacularly, and she'd never been happier about being wrong. The end.